Hello everybody, it's Cape Rugby TV time. It's Wednesday night and we talk to you about what's happening in the world of Western Province Club Rugby, as we do every Wednesday. And for those of you that thought that Club Rugby has gone quiet, well, no, it hasn't gone quiet. It's very, very active, especially over the Easter weekend. Tons of different festivals happening, lots of different friendlies. Of course, we went out to the Easter weekend festival hosted by Busy Bees at CPUT this weekend. Close on 30 teams out there. We'll take a look at that during the course of the show. Big thanks to Hisense on board with Cape Rugby TV as the technical partner. Score Energy Drinks, of course, on board, not only with Western Province Club Rugby and Cape Rugby TV, but also with the Easter weekend festival that happened now at CPUT. So Score Energy Drinks, you will see them on a lot of the jerseys. And then, of course, Dulux Maitland. You can see them behind me right now. Dulux Maitland at number 30 Kuba Road. They're all up for goes. And, of course, Colour Tone. And don't forget SaveSASport.com, the online store where you can get all your apparel at a 20% discount using the Cape Rugby TV coupon code. My panel this evening, Jerome Parvater. Welcome to Cape Rugby TV.
Yeah, JP. Good to be back, and good to be back after Easter, with a lot of pickle fish and things, so it's good to be back.
Lyndon Julius.
Good evening, JP. Good evening, Jerome. Good evening, all the viewers. Yeah, like Jerome said, it's a good weekend. You sort of tend to feel that it was actually a week. It felt like more like a week.
Yeah.
Kind of don't know which. We're in that time of the year where we don't know if it's a Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. You're sort of just going through the motions.
Did you eat pickle fish?
Of course.
I'm still trying to work out where this whole pickle fish.
I'm still eating pickle fish.
Have you any idea where that comes from? Where does the...
I think the fish is just significance of the Easter, the Passover, and I think the pickled side of it is probably just a I don't know if it's a Cape Malay or it's a Kaapse but it must be some, because there's a curry involved and there's onions, and so I don't think it's a thing that comes from the Jewish tradition or the Christian tradition. Yeah.
Yeah, I know. Jerome, we're going to take a look a little bit later during the course of the show. You've got the development team that you're working on. You guys went out, I think just the week before last, you went out to go play against Boerland. We know that ons was op die phone met jou laas week, maar vanaand gaan ons bietjie kyk na 'n bietjie van die aksie.
Ja, JP, dit was regtig 'n eye-opener vir die manne wat gespeel het teen Boland, want dit is teen die Karibeker span, groterige manne. Maar dit was 'n goeie challenge vir hulle en goed vir hulle om te sien. En baie meeste van die ouens het gespeel in die Easter tournament. So hopelik het hulle iets geleer en hulle kan bietjie by hulle klub gaan wys wat om te doen.
Ons sal kyk na die footage, dan kan jy vir ons deur dit praat. So we'll take a look at the footage of the Western Province development team that Jerome's been working with. Obviously lots of different development teams at Western Province, but Jerome's got a special system going here and took them out to go and play against Boerland, the Currie Cup team. So very exciting. We'll take a look at that a little bit later during the course of the show. And of course, those competitions, make sure that you keep your mobile phone handy if you want to win yourself a case of Score Energy Drinks. That comes up a little bit later. And of course, that opportunity to get yourself that discount at the SaveSASport.com. Right, so we went out over the weekend to go to the Easter Festival at CPUT. It was hosted by Busy Bees. This is a tournament that is on a round robin, comes around, obviously, if there's 30 teams, they're only going to come around to you every 30 odd years. So this was Busy Bees' year, and the guys managed to, even with the water restrictions, pull it off and host it here at CPUT. Number of different teams from all around South Africa, of course plenty coming out of the Eastern Cape, and certainly a lot of heritage involved there. We managed to watch a couple of the games, and we'll bring you some of the highlights. So tonight is just general rugby and watching some community rugby action. Our first match we're taking a look at, the Dolphins from Western Province up against Spring Rose in the Eastern Cape. Right, folks, well, there you go. Dolphins against Spring Rose. One of the first games that happened there. Dolphins, of course, played in the black kit. Nice to see a bit of community rugby there, Lennon.
Yeah, I think it looked like Spring Rose sort of they disciplined in that first few minutes of the match. With Dolphins getting a few penalties. Obviously, the kicker is a long-range specialist.
Long range guru.
Long range, long drop, Johnny long drop. Because I mean, he lined them up from the halfway line pretty much every kick from every angle, and then we saw Spring Rose finally breaking through. And incidentally, a few years back, they were the team that won Marty's at the club champs, the previous club champs. That's the team, Spring Rose. That's the team that won Marty's on that Sunday evening. Where a packed B-side field at Kutzenberg saw them.
They made a movie about this.
Yeah, they did. Yeah, the way they won the Marty's. I think it was 17-18 was the final score, and I think that was the biggest upset in club rugby up until now. I think. Yeah.
Just Jerome, the Reserve League. This is obviously a league that we don't hear about much. Everyone always focuses on Super League A, Super League B, but there's still a Reserve League as well that the guys practice in. Can you explain to us a little bit more about the Reserve League?
Yeah, the Reserve League is, I mean, there's Dolphins guys, they actually play, it's almost like a Sunday league.
Yeah.
So they play amongst each other on Sundays. And then there's some other, but it's like really the lower of the lower clubs. But it's good for them, and I mean, it keeps them busy, and it's because of a lot of the guys, they work Saturdays, so Sundays is, that's why Sundays is actually the only time that they can play. So
is the Reserve League played only on Sundays?
Yeah.
Okay,
it's only Sunday league, and like Jerome said, these are the working class guys. So they'll be working on a Saturday, your factory workers, and then Sunday afternoons, just after they probably finish their shift, they are the guys that end up all forming this league. Yeah.
And I don't know if they still do it, but I know I actually played many years. I played in one of these games. Yeah, they asked a few of us guys who played Western Province. They asked us to come and join them and play just to have a bit of fun.
Yeah.
So we went to play, and they play for sheep. They have a sheep there. I don't know if they still do it. And then the team that won win the sheep.
Sheep, and they braai, the split braai.
They braai in the thing. So that's.
Well,
but of gears there also.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
I mean, it's another thing we learn now about. You see, this is the thing about sharing stories, and is the more we talk about this, the deeper the story gets. I mean, if we just look at that, it's another way for community to come together. It's on a Sunday.
It's full.
It's
fully packed.
Fully packed, and you're playing for a sheep.
Yeah.
You're not playing for money.
Yeah.
Which is quite a pleasure. I mean, so you're playing for a sheep, but everybody gets to eat.
And everybody gets to sit around. I mean, there are a few fields where you see guys gathering around a pochi or split braai, collegians, rangers, LCs. You always have something where you'll always have a drawing card when you have food around, and people will always gather and always be very social around this. And it's good also to see JP that score, giving back these players, each team getting a set of jerseys. So now the Reserve League score is reaching out there as well and investing there. So I think that is once again score breaking boundaries in club rugby and amateur sport in the country.
Yeah, no, Scores really come on board with supporting community rugby, and to the guys out there at Chilbev, we can say big thanks, and without you, of course, I think club rugby would be so much the less. Folks, we're going to be taking a look at Blue Jets. They're up against Sparrows. That's going to come after the break. In the meantime, if you want to win yourself a case of Score energy drinks, or a whole case of this, then all you need to do is SMS the word SCORE to 33090. 33090. We'll announce the winners a little bit later during the course of the show. In the meantime, we'll take an ad break. When we come back from the break, we'll take a look at Blue Jets from Western Province. They, of course, were the hosts this year, playing against Sparrows from Eastern Cape. We'll see you after the break. Well, welcome back, everybody. You're watching Cape Rugby TV. We talk about what happens in the world of Western Province club rugby. Certainly one of the greater community sport activities that we see that's active and yet is constantly contributing back to the world of sport. Interestingly enough, we were just talking before the break about the Reserve League being, Jerome, you say the guys used to play for a sheep, hulle het vir skaap gespeel. Now, at the Busy Bees tournament over the weekend, on the Saturday, the guys went from CPUT, they went back to Langa and slaughtered a cow and 5 sheep.
Alfred and the guys looking after the 26 teams. I mean, players from all over the province and the Eastern Cape. Over 1,000 players enjoying a true tradition of reserve or Sunday league football. And I think this is what club rugby has done. It's brought players together that would never have seen or played against each other. And then they socialize. Once again, food is the drawing card.
They were always going to play at Langa, but of course the water restrictions are the problem. They played CPT. So obviously after the games they did trek back to Langa, back to the home ground, and go celebrate there in your home territory.
But that's everybody, eh? That's everybody that went to the game. That's spectators. That's the players. That's how they do it. That's everybody. It's
no one is left out.
There's a lesson to be learned in this. I think there's a big lesson to be learned in community sport. When you see the fans, the spectators, and everybody drive back, whether it goes in a taxi or wherever they are, drive back to the home ground to go and continue the celebrations. And that's on the Saturday, knowing that there's still the Sunday and the Monday games coming up as well. We'll talk more about that a little bit later. Let's check out the one of the other matches now. This is, of course, Blue Jets from Western Province up against Sparrows from Eastern Cape. Blue Jets up against Sparrows. I know I did say earlier on that Blue Jets were the host of the tournament. Of course, Busy Jets. Busy Bees. Busy Bees. We've got some very funny names. A lot of names with a lot of history that goes a lot of. In fact, folks, you look around the country in club rugby, you come up with some extraordinary names in terms of community sports, and not only in rugby, also in football and other sports where you have very creative names. But yes, Busy Bees. Busy Bees, of course, the hosts of the tournament this year. They were originally going to play at Langa. Unfortunately, the water restrictions just tied them down, and the CPUT fields then opened up and ended up being an away game, so to speak. But everybody's still going back to Langa in the evenings to go and celebrate. The fans, the players, the administrators, and all the different teams also back to Langa to go celebrate their. It's been a long time now in the Easter tournament. Let's just take a look at some of the games here. What Mr. Renzel Botman was telling me, Lyndon, is that we had a lot of teams, players from other teams playing at the Easter tournament, which I wasn't aware of.
Yeah.
Jared Pennings from Union Mill was playing, I think, I'm not sure which team he played in. Played for Lagunya.
For Lagunya, yeah.
You mentioned Manny Williams.
Yeah.
Manny Williams from St. George's.
Yeah, I saw Manny put up a photo on Facebook over the weekend, and I saw they were in a black and red strip, and I was thinking, I wonder where,
I saw that.
Yeah, I thought he was going back because he's from Montague, so I thought maybe it's a team in Montague or it's a team in Saldanha. Manny's been around quite a few, and now Manny can add, I'm sure this is not his first Easter tournament, I think he's probably has played in a few of those back then. Obviously now, given that there's a break in the registration of players, they are allowed to play at another club without not being registered there. So I think, like, once again, I think Tariq mentioned it a few weeks back, there's always a silver lining that we find each week into all of this. So you're seeing players that are really wanting to play and going out of their comfort zone to play in a tournament that they probably would have never played, or their clubs never have played in. So now many of the guys and Jared Pennies can tick that off their bucket list.
And some of the Kells River, Jerome, a couple of the Kells River boys also that we spotted there.
That fullback, what's his name? The
fullback from Kells River playing.
Yeah, he played. But as I said, like earlier on, they always do this. Like, I was one of that back then, one of the guys who were invited to go and play. So it's good that they always get some other guys in and make it a real festive game.
Yeah, no, I think it's fantastic. Right, folks, we'll take an ad break, and when we come back from the break, we'll take a look at what happened between Laguna and Boiling Water. Right, welcome back, everybody. Yes, Boiling Water up against Laguna. You're watching Cape Rugby TV. We talk about what happens in the world of West Bromwich Club Rugby every single Wednesday. Remember, you can find us on Facebook, www.facebook.com. You can find us on Instagram at Cape Rugby TV. You can find us on Twitter at Cape Rugby TV. But Facebook seems to be the place where most people are sharing their content, and it's very important that you do share it onto our Facebook page. We quite often like to, well, wherever we can find your stories, we share it onto our Facebook page. And that way you get a couple of, well, many thousands of people being drawn to your content. And more importantly, once it's posted on our Facebook page, we're able to grab it and put it on the TV show. So just by sharing your content, you potentially are going to get many, many more thousands of viewers through the Cape Rugby TV process that draws attention to whatever it is that you're busy doing. And that's how you're going to get sponsorship. So use our social media channels to engage with us here on Cape Rugby TV, so we can get your posters up and we can get your game content and just generally find out what it is that you're up to, so that you can then go to sponsors and tell them this is how many people you reach. And that's what sponsors are looking for. Right, we mentioned earlier on that it was Laguna up against Boiling Water. This was, of course, at the Easter Weekend Festival. Welcome back, everybody. Cape Rugby TV. Right, a little bit difficult there to tell the difference between the teams. As you can see, all of the teams, of course, had jerseys sponsored by Score Energy Drinks this year. 30 teams once again dressed up. A little bit difficult to see because both teams were in a red and a slightly dark red there. But Jerome, just looking at the game, also quite hard to analyze the game. It's community rugby, but it looks like, Boiling Water, from what I understand, is the team that actually won this tournament. Laguna is a Western Province team, so you actually got two pretty good outfits up against each other there.
Yeah, you could see Boiling Water is a team with flair. They use their backs a lot, and Laguna, they use their big forwards to just run it up at I can just sense like because Laguna forwards was quite big, so maybe they got tired in the second half because you can see Boiling Water was just running holes a couple of times. So yeah, it's two different teams. You can see different style of play.
I've watched Laguna play now many times, and that's definitely one of their strong points is their pack of forwards. I've watched them Laguna against, as I say, a couple of teams, but I must say that even though that I've always noticed that their strong point has been the forwards, in the past I used to think right in the beginning now that their strong points was the forwards because I didn't think that you were using the backline much more. Now I think the strong points are their forwards, but they're using the backline better than before. So we're seeing a much better combination of backs and forwards from Laguna at the moment.
Yeah, and I think the way also in which the forwards lay the platform for teams like Laguna. I mean, even at St. George's, like we have known to be strong with the backline, but we've never lacked in the forwards. A team like Langa, for example, up front they're very strong.
Yeah.
You know, guys like Bazooka that play there. You know, and then once the ball gets back, there's to the backline, then you are trouble. And these teams generally from your black townships are teams known not to kick the ball out of the so-called red zone. They run the ball and they run at you hard. So if you don't tackle and you don't like Jerome said, eventually Boiling Water just found the gaps in the Laguna defense and then they boiled.
Yeah, Jerome, one of the things that I've noticed with the township rugby is the ball carrying skills are quite good. Like Lyndon said, the guys don't often kick the ball away. They love to drive it up, and they're actually very good at hoe sou jy nou sê oor die bal gaan?
Skoonmaak, retaining the ball,
to clean, It's true, JP, because I did a couple of tests with the guys coming to train with me on Tuesdays. So I normally have like a 2 minutes test that I do with skills to keep the ball alive for 2 minutes in passing. And these guys are amazing. They just keep the ball going. At one stage I had 3 minutes, so I had to stop.
Oh,
I said,
really?
okay,
Right.
you're not going to drop the ball. You know, as a coach, you want give them challenges, but they just keep on going. And at the breakdown, it's naturally quite good of them because one guy go to ground and then you have one cleaner. And then before you see a ball is out, it's so quick. That's what you want. That's what you see in Super Rugby. But these guys are doing it naturally.
Yeah.
And I also think a lot of times it's sometimes on the fields that they play. Because sometimes they play on fields that's very hard and there's hardly grass.
Yeah.
So they perfect that skills. And also like offloads before tackles.
Not
you
to
don't
go
wanna
to
go to
ground.
ground.
Not to go to ground.
They perfect that. So I think it's a lot to do with the fields that you play in, but it teach you a lesson.
Absolutely. Right, folks, if you want to win yourself a case of Score energy drinks, then all you need to do is SMS the word SCORE to 33090. And a case of Score energy drinks can be in your hands by the end of the week. So 33090, terms and conditions of course apply. Congratulations to last week's winner, Elaine Sampson. Elaine, you walk away with a case of Score energy drinks. One of the guys from Cape Rugby TV will be in touch with you shortly. We will be taking a look still during the course of the show at one of the ladies' games. Two ladies teams from Western Province, Busy Bees and Blue Jets. This time it's close to home. And then a little bit later, of course, it's Busy Bees up against the University of Fort Hare. All right, we'll take an ad break. When we come back from the break, we'll see what happens in the ladies' rugby here at the Easter weekend tournament. I'm beginning to think that at this stage of the game, Jerome, we could probably have more women's teams. We've got a couple of women's teams that are getting active now, but we get a lot of emails from people saying, I'd like to join a women's rugby team. Where can I join? And we pass the details on to Western Province. But women's rugby seems to be growing. It certainly seems to be a global interest in women's rugby, but at Western Province, women's rugby is turning on the taps.
Yeah, it's definitely
not really turning on the taps. It's water.
But it is. I mean, Semi Malachi and Roger, they're doing a great job with women's rugby in Cape Town.
Yeah.
Because I know at all the athletics events in Cape Town, they went around and to go see, and they actually found a lot of girls athletes. That's what they were looking for. So they found a lot of girls joining up with Western Province playing.
Yeah.
And so they're doing quite well with that. And it's in the past it was just it was a lot of black and colored ladies playing, but there's a lot of white ladies joining now. So they've got they do something right now.
Yeah.
And I mean currently Western Province women's team are the Currie Cup champs, sort of to say that. So they're doing a lot of work and a lot of effort going into women's rugby, which is good. They really do an amazing job.
A lot of challenges though when it comes to the development side of that, because you've got to consider as a coach, you've got to consider a lot of other factors. It's not just you've got to make sure that the ladies are feeling comfortable to come and play rugby, that the environment is
hygienic.
Yeah,
because obviously women's needs are a bit more clinical, a little more clinical than the males.
Yeah.
But then also there's certain clubs that have traditionally been strong women's teams. You know, the likes of Milnerton, Blue Jets, Blue Jets, Marties. But then you tend to think that it's time now. It feels the right time for a Heidelberg, a Village, Hamilton's, a St George's, a Strand, a Rangers. You know, these clubs to sort of Ahmadiyas, these clubs to sort of bring on a women's team, and then to see the game grow, and then help Sammy and Roger at Province, because I agree with Jerome. They are doing a brilliant job with what they have, and it's good to see that women's rugby, and it's always something that we need to push. Transformation is not just about black and white and coloured. It's also about women's in sport and leadership in women's in sport.
Yeah.
And that's very important that we need to get. But if we want to get women leaders in rugby, we need to develop the women's rugby side of the teams as well.
Right, well, let's take a look to the teams then from Western Province. Blue Jets up against the Busy Bees. Right, folks, it's Blue Jets against the Busy Bees. We don't often feature women's rugby. In fact, we probably don't feature women's rugby enough. But Lennon, a bit of running rugby there.
Yeah, definitely, and it's very physical. Women, traditionally, the women are known in society, and this is what we're trying to shake, that they are, the very flimsy and airy-fairy. But when you look at some of these players here playing there in that match and in the leagues, some of the guys in the club rugby space, the men club rugby space, wouldn't come up against them, and I think that's good to see.
All right, folks, we managed to speak to at least watch the game between Busy Bees and Fort Hare. As you know, it was Busy Bees hosting the tournament. Fort Hare University, themselves a very experienced outfit. They've played in the Varsity Cup and the Varsity Shield for quite a while now. In fact, I don't think they've made it into the Varsity Cup just yet, certainly in the Shield. We've seen them in action there. Busy Bees and Fort Hare, all the way down from Alice. there you go. Busy Bees up against Fort Hare. Jerome, looks like you find yourself a new fly-off. 55 meters out.
Yeah, no, look, my thing with friendly games, we never kick for poles, but if I knew this guy could kick like that, I would have kicked a lot against Boland.
Well, we didn't know that he's in your development team.
But he's, but I could see from the kickoffs, like he kicked it spot on, so, but now I can see he can kick for poles, so, and he's not afraid to tackle also. It's quite a big guy, but he's not a bad fly-off.
In general, the game itself, the game there between Busy Bees and Fort Hare is a very experienced team. University outfit, a lot of support structures for them. Busy Bees, of course, a Western Province team.
Yeah, Busy Bees done well, and I must also say, Busy Bees are the team that got most of the guys in training with me currently.
Right.
So they've really done well, and I've seen a couple of lineouts where I call tempo lineouts where they just walk in and take it, which is good. So they took a few things from what we're busy doing, which is good.
Yeah, leaning on the experience. So obviously we're starting to see some payoff already. We managed to speak to Western Province Executive Member Ronald Bantam at the game.
Yes, like, you know, I don't regret that I came here today. I've seen brilliant rugby, a number of games, a number of teams that performed. I don't know where they get all these players from. I don't know who coached them, but it has been a brilliant day today. You know what? I came here about past 12 today, and it's past 7 now that we're having this interview, and I'm still here. And the thing that kept me here is the quality of rugby that I've seen. There are a number of brilliant individual players. The first game I watched today was a game of, I think it's African Young Brothers, a team from Kaiskamahoek, who played against a team from Cape Town. Those guys were absolutely brilliant. I heard afterward that some of those guys are also students at the University of Fort Hare. So it makes sense that I'm sure some of them played in the Varsity Shield. And then ever since, I mean, up until the very last game, Busy Bees is one of our top clubs in the townships in the Western Province. I mean, they've played a game against some team from the Eastern Cape, and they've beaten them convincingly. The fact that they beat them is not the issue, it is the type of rugby that they've played. So well done to Alfred Kiwana and the Busy Bees team, because I mean, the rugby they've dished up today was absolutely brilliant.
Always nice to speak to the guys from Western Province when they come out to the club games, and I'm sure that the more we expose club rugby, the more support we'll get. There's only one way to find out about what's happening in the world of club rugby. You've got to be there on the side of the field, and that's where we try to get to. Right, sportsa.com is on board with Cape Rugby TV. If you want to win, or not win, if you want to get yourself some of the best discounts possible on your rugby boots or your footwear or your apparel, 20% off is what you can get upon checkout, and they'll be deducted off the entire order. Free delivery anywhere in South Africa above 750 Rand. Just use the coupon code Cape Rugby TV to get a 20% discount off all brands such as Puma, Mizuno, Canterbury, New Balance, and Asics. That's savesasport.com. Use the coupon code Cape Rugby TV. We'll take an ad break. When we come back from the break, we'll find out what's happening in the rest of Western Province rugby. A lot of activities coming up this weekend, and we'll speak to Mr. Jerome Parvater about their match against Boland. You're working with these guys from different clubs, different community clubs. They're coming to the High Performance Center. You're busy putting input there, and you're now taking them to play against some bigger teams. You took them out to Boland. That must have been a great opportunity. Did you see anything come through at the game?
Yeah, Jeff.
How are we going to look at the footage?
We were talking earlier on one thing that these guys can do. They can pass and they can keep the ball in contact. They can play. At one stage, they kept the ball through 6-7 phases, which they can do. But the biggest thing for me to work on is the defense. They don't like to tackle. They don't work a lot on defense. So that's my biggest challenge now, to work on the defense.
Well, let's take a look at some of the action here, and then walk us through it. Folks, so the guys from the West Province Dev Squad, development team, Jerome's team, went out to go and play against Boland Currie Cup side in Wellington. Well, there you go. A little bit of action there. Jerome, okay, well, we know that the boys didn't win it, but that wasn't what you were looking for. You were looking to give them a run. They must have been quite proud to be there on the day.
Yeah, JP, you know, you get a lot of coaches that phone you, and you get a lot of people that say, give guys opportunity, or take this guys, they can play. They can play in the Super Sport Challenge team. They can play Curry Cup. People say things like that. So I'm open for that, and I believe there's a few guys that will, maybe not this year, but we keep on working with them. Next year we'll see a few of them maybe in the Super Sport Challenge team. There's still a few youngsters there that might be able to play under 21. But that is the reason why we play this game and let them play against strong opposition so that they can see. And also their coaches or management who were at the game could see, listen, it's not that easy that you just say, why isn't this guy playing Curry Cup? Why isn't he playing for Province? So it's an opportunity that I gave them to see where they are. And actually after the game, the players, they were laughing because there were some big clean-outs from the Boland guys on their guys. So they could see, and there were a few sore bodies after the game, so they could see. But like I say, it's now up to them and for us at Western Province not to stop with this program, but to continue and to give them more games and to work with them, because there are, like I say, there are a few guys that can make it, but they just need the exposure and it's a lot of patience and we need to work. And I mean, they've been playing for long, but all comes down to the basics of the game and to do the right things and to get some good opposition. So I'm definitely confident that next year we will see a few of these guys. And one bad thing is SA Rugby don't have this Tyson emerging tournaments, which is super for these guys. So hopefully SA Rugby will also open their eyes and see, like, listen, there's a need for more than just the club champs. Because it's just a few guys. But of course,
one of the challenges there is not all the other provinces do what you do.
Yeah.
So it would be a lot easier if because then you can just throw it all in the pot.
But I think it was
shorter seasons, less clubs.
It was good to see, like Jerome said, like seeing the guys handling there, you know, keeping the ball, and also, you know, at club level, your 50-50 passes tend to work out for you, but at a higher level, or when you play against a provincial outfit, that pass might not stick, and then you see that, you know, your Sonny Bill Williams type of passes, or that's the one side step that you decide not to kick out. It doesn't work out in the real world, and like Jerome said, and I would like to add on to that, like some coaches tend to think that their players are good enough to make it at professional level. All due respect, you know, they've got their reasons why they think so. Not criticizing their attitude as a coach, but I think that once they see this, and once this program of this development squad is being seen and going through the phases and seeing the fruition of what is happening, then I think the players will then go back to their clubs and say, hey guys, we really need to work on our gym, we need to work on our conditioning, we need to work on our handling, we need to work on our clean-outs. You know, then the players can go back to the clubs and sort of give back and decide, okay guys, if we want to make it as a professional, we got to stick to programs like this that the Western Province is giving us. And I think that that more coaches will become more realistic and also realize that the resources is there. And with time,
I was thinking about you know, we talk about experience, but experience is only born out of opportunity.
Exactly.
So if you don't give the guy an opportunity to get the experience, well, then he's never going to get the experience. So you've denied all the possibility of growth, which is empowerment, which is development, which is transformation. So you've got to create opportunity. That opportunity creates experience. Experience you can bring back home. And I think that's exactly what you did now, Jerome. You gave them an opportunity to practice, opportunity to engage with each other, an opportunity to experience a high-performance environment. And then you took that a step further and you gave them an opportunity to experience playing against a senior team. Because otherwise, until that stage, it's all theory. It's all just something you read in a book.
On the paper.
You can run around the gym as much as you want, and you can talk about it as much as you want about what's happening on the field. Until you test it on the field, It's just a story.
What also is good is that the fact that it wasn't just we're practicing now and in 2 weeks time we're playing against the Currie Cup side. Jerome has been building this up for the last 6 weeks, or this program has been running for the last 6-7 weeks, and it's been field in the gym. So there's sort of rotation. And like with this, once again, this water crisis has given this program enough time to be a 2-day week now, so then they have more time to practice and give the guy, like you said, more opportunity and to test the theory.
I think it's fantastic, actually.
Brilliant.
I know it sounds crazy, but I think we've, like you said earlier on,
I think we've changed a couple of lives and views over the weekend.
Logistically, there's a lot of effort also going in there.
Yeah.
Because what we did, and I must say, Danny Jones is very supportive of it, because we actually got one minibus coming from Khayelitsha's side, and then we have one minibus taking all the guys from this side. And the guys are quite disciplined. They, at certain times, they at certain places where they get picked up.
Jongi picks them up, eh?
Jongi pick one group up, and
so
the other guys come from.
Solution.
So it's transport.
Yeah.
And the next thing that we're looking at now is the nutrition side.
Yeah.
Because they've done everything, so now we need to feed them also and give them the right.
Right, folks, we're gonna have to move on. We've got about 5 minutes left in the show. Let's quickly look at some of the other rugby results that came out over the weekend. As we said, a lot of different action at the moment. Bella Vista played Whistling Wheels. A win there for Bella Vista, 53-5 over Whistling Wheels. Good Hopes went down to Morning Star. Houston, well, they went down to SK Warmers. SK Warmers, of course, showing their strength. And then Roses United beating Tygerberg 25-17. We know the Tygerberg guys travelled to Saldanha, where there was a big festival. Let's take a look at some of the photo pictures that came in over the weekend. Porterville, Noordlikers. There's a nice picture here of the northern side. I'm sure Abraham Fredericks is in there somewhere. Nope, I can't see him. And then we got another picture in here from Bredasdorp Rangers. They played against Elsie's. You can see the Elsie's boys there in their blue and white kit. And of course, that was of the Freightmore on their jerseys there. It's of course still their current sponsor. And then the Score Easter Weekend Cup winners, Boiling Water. There you see them in the jersey. Their Score jersey with the trophy, massive trophy. Anele Zita on the far left. Max Makapele next to him. And then the green the blazer there with the nice red candy stripes. Alfred and Suto Kewana, the guys that put this tournament on. And big thanks then, of course, to Score Energy Drinks that came on board with this tournament. So a fantastic tournament, 30 teams playing under tough conditions, a tournament that nearly didn't happen because of the water restrictions. Right, as I mentioned earlier on, this weekend is going to be a slightly different weekend for us. It's a day of rugby, the 7th of April at the Pinelands ground. Now, this is the police sport grounds. Some of the teams that are going to be playing in the Festival of Rugby here, Atlantis, Northerns, NNK, Scottscliff, SK Warmers, and then of course Police. It's going to be a fantastic day of rugby. 10 Rand for adults, 10 Rand for cars, 5 Rand for kids under 12. Pensioners are free. First game kicks off at 11 o'clock. Then that's Police, second team against NTK. Then Atlantis, Police play again. The first team against SK Warmers, second team at about 2:45. And then 4 o'clock, it's the final game between NTK and SK Warmers. So NTK, SK Warmers, it's going to be the final kickoff at 4 o'clock. That's at the Police Rugby Grounds. Make sure that you get down there on Saturday. I think it's going to be a fantastic game. Halal food across the board, boerewors, tuck shops, tea, coffee breaks, and an ice cream truck. There must be an ice cream truck at every rugby game. Jerome, nice to see Police back in the mix.
Yeah, it's very good to see the day back. It's just strange. JP is like teams are looking for games to play, and it's almost like here in your backyard.
Yeah.
And I would suppose that there would be more Western Province teams. They're all over the south traveling. I've been in George this weekend where Bellville was playing Evergreens in George, and it's I don't know why I don't see them at the Police Day. A lot of clubs.
Well, now I think we're going to see a whole change in the shift. There's a whole story about you can be effective in playing a game, but you're really effective when you change the game itself. And I think what we're going to see here is that whatever happens with the future of fixtures that comes, we are going to see clubs now come up with creative ways when they have buys. Yeah. We often hear about these teams of long breaks and going on a bye. Now we'll see teams holding festivals I think this is going to happen. We're going to see festivals during the season. Let's quickly look, before we carry on talking, let's quickly look at some of the other games. Franschhoek is playing against St. George's, so great posters coming in here from everybody. Fantastic picture there of Cape Rugby TV's correct logo. Franschhoek, under 20s, the third team is the second team and the first team. And of course the first team playing at 4 o'clock. They say, stay posas. Houom ha. A lot of posters that has come in here, but Franschhoek St. George's playing there on Saturday. So Super Rugby is of course on the cards as well. It was didn't go the Stormers' way over the weekend, but nevertheless we still support our Stormers boys. Remember, you can use that hashtag We Stand Together to support the Newlands faithful, and make sure you support the Stormers. They're of course playing this weekend against the Lions. So well, let's see if we can get the Stormers to give the Lions a hiding this weekend. Remember, you can find our Super Brew competition on www, or go to the Super Brew mobile app, or find them online and go and enter our Super Brew competition. Let's take a quick look at the top 10 in our Super Brew pool at the moment. Manasi Cut sitting at number 1 in the top spot. Chupi, Georgion, Chris Lemac, Mervito, Sbu0123, Orion, Salas, The General, and Stuffy. Those are top 10 in our Cape Rugby Super Brew pool. Don't know where these names come from, but anyway, so there's some classic names there. All right, Lynn and Julius, I'm not going to ask you where you're going this weekend for rugby because I know that you're still busy with the Twins.
Yeah. But hopefully I can cut off some time and head over to the Pinelands, the police. Yeah. It'll be interesting to see the facilities. This obviously is a privately owned field. Pinelands Police Station. There's obviously
wear your Cape Rugby shirt and and I'll show you get VIP treatment.
I hope so. I just don't want to have a camera because they're going to ask me, meneer, gaan ze op TV wees? Of uncle, gaan ze op TV wees? So I don't know.
Uncle,
yeah.
Jerome, your plans for the weekend?
Do you think if I go with the Western Province to the police
rugby
Thomas
tickets
I think considering that you've probably coached all of those guys, you'll get a VIP ticket and VIP parking at the same time. Yeah. But thanks, gentlemen, for joining me, and we'll see you again next week, same time, same place.
Thank you very much.
JP, just I just want to say good luck to Martis playing in the final on Monday, and also to UWC. Playing in the final. I think they did Western Province Rugby proud, so hopefully they will both win. We'll see two cups in Cape Town. 2
cups in one day, 2 cups in one season. Right, folks, it's a little bit better than 4 seasons in one day. So the university is doing us proud here in Western Province. That's a wrap from us here at Cape Rugby TV. As I said, stay on Facebook with us, and a big thanks, of course, to our sponsors, Score Energy Drinks, Dulux, Maitland, and Color Tone, and SaveSASport.com. Very supportive of Cape Rugby TV. We'll see you again next week, same time, same place. Have a fantastic rugby weekend. Bye-bye.